even establishing the radio station. Then organize a meeting. Do's and don'ts. That's nice. You know, you can be sued if you are playing a military song. Singing, and you sing along, Rodentry can sue you. If Rodentry is singing his Alpha and that's the time you decide to read your LPM, whilst he's singing his Alpha they are saying, oh, at the Tamale sports stadium, we're going to have this launch of radio awards. Rodentry can sue you for altering his music. Because the song is playing, he has a certain set of lyrics, and you interfere with his lyrics, either by speaking or by attempting to sing within the song. So I'm saying, do not sing, number one. And number two, do not speak into music. Anytime you want to speak, you can do so using instrumentals. If you have to do your LPMs, do so using instrumentals. Or at the tail end of the song, when the song is dying out, then you come in, you speak, and there's nothing wrong if your speech is not even over music. There's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on how you speak, how you are able to articulate yourself. There's somebody who was one of the fresh people. He says, no, manager disagree, because now that is what is trending. That's what is trending. Who made what is trending right? The fact that that is what is trending does not make it right. Are you with me, please? So, for example, and we're also discussing English language here. I'll give you a little example. There are some things in English, when we speak English, which sound very right, but which is very wrong. And there are some things we say in English, which is very right, but sounds very wrong to the ear. But you as a radio presenter, are you going to go with the trend that, oh, this is what is trending, that's what everybody thinks, so then you also think that way? No, then you don't qualify to sit on radio or on TV or feature in any media platform, because you are supposed to be the benchmark, the standard that people should look up to. So, for example, if I said something like, it is I who is speaking, you will say I'm right. Who is speaking now? It is I who is speaking now. Am I right? Yes, because you think I'm right, but I'm not right. Because it is I who am speaking. But it is I who am speaking sounds a little weird to the ear. But let's do the analysis. I is speaking and I am speaking. Which one is correct? I am speaking. You never say I is speaking. So why do you say it is I who is speaking? Because I is the one you're talking about. And I is not speaking. I am speaking. It sounds wrong. But as a radio presenter, you stick to what is right and not what is trending. You don't say I is speaking because everybody says I am the one who is speaking. You become the standard. You say I am the one who am speaking. Because people have learned from you and I. If you fail to do that, then you have no business being in this business. So not to go with what's trending. How about if you stop what was trending and created a new trend? We can do so. When we say this is what is trending, who started the trend anyway? Somebody may have started it somewhere. And so what is trending now is that we go on there and all we focus on, especially for those of us who report for stations outside of Tamale. Negative news, negative stories. And yet, you see, when you create those negative stories, one day you will have to go back to the news room in Accra, whether you work for City, Joy, BBC, wherever. One day you will have to walk to the newsroom in Accra for something. Something will take you there. When you go there, they begin to look down on you. It is because you created that space for other people to look down on you. Because your people are always fighting. Everywhere there is fight. And I'm not saying when there's a fight, don't report on the fight. But I am at National Service Secretariat. And it's time for National Service posting. It's a true story. Of course, people are eager to see where they have been posted, and then there's a scarf. And then one of our very own begins to report live midday on the station. There's commotion at the Tamale National Service Secretariat, where service personnel are beating each other, and if the police do not come, there will be chaos here because this region is already volatile. And I'm there and I'm looking at the situation. And I don't see any volatility. I'm just seeing angry youth, people who are not happy with a certain situation, who are expressing their anger, a very normal and natural thing to happen to anybody. And yet our newsman says, and I'll mention the station, our newsman says, if guy is not taking this one because the place is already volatile, you know what has created in people's minds? And the next person, that's the same report. The report that talked about Chief Imam dying over. Hey, you recall that story?
Yeah.
What a Chief Imam? It turns out the man has nothing to do with imamship. The fight has nothing to do with religion. So even if he was imam, what has his imamship got to do with the fact that he and somebody fought? Two people engage in a fight, and then it becomes a chief imam dying over. I mean, you see the kind of image we are creating. Again, Ibrahim said, Tamale, the original idea, which is what I still want to push anywhere I go, is that what we are inadvertently doing as radio presenters and reporters and whatever role we play within the radio industry is that we are creating jobs for people in Accra and limiting ourselves to a space where we can only remain intimidated by those same people for whom we create the space. I'll explain. And I don't even want to use those who are the presenters. But for example, if Umar Sanda comes here, or Manasseh Zulu, or you mentioned them, if they come here, all of us here, or Ivan Spencer, or you mentioned the radio presenters, Bernard Lampman. Of course, they are good, these and they are very good, no doubt about that. But the fact that they are good does not mean that you are bad. You get my point? They are good, but that does not make you bad. But they only are good in your eyes, and you look inferior to them because you have just given them the shine. You've taken the light from you and just placed it on them. There's nothing wrong if you place light on somebody else, but there's everything wrong if you refuse to shine yourself before you throw light on somebody else. There's everything wrong with that. What do I mean? That Diamond FM, they're very excited to say we are affiliated to City. And they'll sit on and say, oh, at 5:30 we're going over to City FM, please stay tuned, we're going over to City FM. And then, what's the Justice FM? They're happy to say we are affiliated to Joy FM. We are happy and they will announce on their airspace, oh, we are going over to Joy, we are going over to Joy. And then Joy is happy to stay in Accra and say, we have affiliates in Accra, in Tamale, in Tamale, in Saboba, in Wa, in Bogatanga. You know what you have done? You are just giving Joy FM nationwide coverage at your expense. And so when Joy goes to take their money, they are taking the money from the advertisers based on the fact that when they broadcast their news, it reaches the whole nation through you. But I wonder how much of that money comes to you. I wonder. Exactly. So if nothing comes to you, why do you sit on air and keep saying, oh, we are going over to Joy, we are going over to City, we are going over to Radio Gold? Why are you so excited to do that if nothing is coming to you? Then my idea is, okay, this is Maybe I'm being too arrogant and too proud. But this is me at Diamond FM. Or from North Side. And I moved straight to GBC. And within 2 weeks, they said, wow, that's great talent. Put him on TV with Abishika, with Liftianti, within 2 weeks of moving from Tamale. So my idea is, okay, so Tamale can actually groom people who can compete out there. And Hassan Suhini, who is now a member of parliament, we started at Diamond FM, went to Accra. Within a short space, shot up to become one of the best morning show hosts in the country, true of us. From Tamale. Who remembers better? That's what I said. You know. Better. From Diamond FM in Tamale, straight to Accra. No one knew who was leaving. He was one of those who, in fact, he replaced Kujo for a while. On the morning show, Joe Bernard had one of the best voices on radio. From Tamale. So it means Tamale can make it. But why make it putting the light on Accra? Because if you created a space where Ibrahim is sitting in the new studio at Radio Tamale, and because you are also journalists and reporters, you've gone out to bring stories. But Radio Tamale, you know somebody who is also living in Accra, you know somebody in Kumasi, you know somebody just like the way they have picked you here. Why can't Radio Tamale or Asasi Radio? Asasi Radio, this is different. Yeah, because Asasi Radio, the ownership is clear. So it is clear that they have extended their in fact, it is Asasi Radio that is here. So that one, the case is very different. But I'm saying, why can't we, Radio Tamale, for example, have, you know, somebody who has trained as a journalist, he lives in Accra, there's no way to come to Tamale. So, Paul can say, you know what, you will be our reporter, correspondent. Anytime you give us a story that we use on air, we'll give you 50 cedis. Every day that guy is going to bring you 4 stories. From Accra, you are our correspondent in Kumasi. Anytime you give us a story, we'll give you 50 cedis. Hophobia, you do that. Because that's what they've been doing to you too. And you see the number of stories you will receive. You will begin even to reject some of the stories. Then you will have created a nationwide coverage here. Limit joy. Don't bring them to Tamale. If Radio Justice says joy will have nothing to do with you, Diamond FM says joy will have nothing to do with you. We are now an independent station working on our own. Look, Joy will now support Radio Justice and say, you know what, can we go into a deal? Because they want that nationwide coverage. Then you tell them we want 50-50, or at least 60-40, or whatever, but at least they will not take it for granted again. Right now, you make them feel like they are doing you a favor by calling you their affiliates. And because of that, we are just working in media. Yes. God forbid. All of us here. If something were to happen to our mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters, right now we are giving a call that look, report at the hospital. We need 10,000 cities now. Nobody in this room. There will be chaos. Two of us. And anybody goes for 10,000, maybe I'm maybe extended 5,000.
Yeah, you know that.
That is solid thing.
I don't think so.
It's a very corrupt journalist.
I mean, I don't know okay.
But I hope you get the point of view. That we keep complaining about no money.
Yeah.
But why is that when you go to Accra, the stations that you give your stories to and you open up the space for, at least the presenters are driving and the journalists they are driving cars. At least those who are not driving, they are able to afford some Uber. Why can't you? How many of you own cars? How many of you have started some building somewhere? It's just because we have not built our own confidence. And I keep saying that if you are not confident, you will not be competent. And competence is also a function of confidence. They go hand in hand. And so you are not confident, you can't compete.